I've driven these streets for 7 years. I thought I'd seen everything this city keeps hidden after dark, but I never told anyone this story. Not the whole thing. The ride ended, but for me, it never really stopped. This job teaches you to read people fast. A sixth sense for trouble bat. 'Tis fair. This one felt different from the moment I accepted it. A low rating, a pickup in a part of South LA, where the streetlights are mostly broken promises. The request came in just before 2 a.m. The rain had just started. A cold drizzle that makes the world look like it's weeping. It was a night that felt heavy. A night that held its breath. I remember thinking, this is a memory I'm going to carry for a long time. I just didn't know how heavy it would be. The air in my Camry was already thick with the smell of damp asphalt and that low hum of the engine you only notice when everything else is silent. I pulled up to the address. Under a flickering porch light stood a woman, rail-thin, drenched. She didn't have an umbrella. She didn't even seem to notice the rain. She just stood there, staring at my car as if she'd been waiting for hours. She opened the back door without a word and slid in. The dome light revealed a face pale as bone, dark hair plastered to her cheeks. She didn't look at me. Her eyes were fixed on the rearview mirror, but not at me. At the empty street behind us, I confirmed the destination. A residential block about 15 miles north. She just nodded, her head making a small, jerky movement. We drove for maybe 3 minutes in total silence. The only sounds were the wipers pushing rain across the windshield and the soft hiss of the tires on the wet road. I glanced in the mirror. She was shivering, but not from the cold. It was a deep, internal tremor. Then, her voice, barely a whisper. "Pull over." I looked around. We were on Crenshaw, just passing a small, nearly dark strip mall. The only sign still lit was a green Dollar Tree logo, its light fuzzy in the rain. "Here," I asked. "The store's about to close. I just need the bathroom," she said. Her voice strained. "Please, it'll be quick." Something about her urgency felt wrong. It wasn't just a need. It was desperation. Against my better judgment, I pulled into the empty parking lot. The open sign was still on, but I could see an employee mopping near the entrance, getting ready to lock up. She was out of the car before I'd even put it in park, moving quickly toward the glass doors without a look back. I watched her disappear inside. I left the engine running. 1 minute passed, then 2. The rain was coming down harder now, blurring the green light of the sign. That's when my night shifted. The employee locked the front doors from the inside and turned off the open sign. But my passenger hadn't come out. I waited 3 minutes. 4. My gut was screaming at me. This wasn't right. At the 6-minute mark, I killed the engine, got out, and walked to the doors. They were locked, just as I'd seen. I knocked on the glass. The employee, a tired-looking kid, came over and shook his head, pointing at the closed sign. I pointed back toward my car. Then at the store, my passenger. I mouthed. She came in to use the bathroom. He frowned, confused, but unlocked the door and let me in. "Dude, nobody's come in for like 10 minutes, he said. "We're closed." "A woman?" I insisted. "Soaking wet, dark hair." She came straight here. He just shrugged, gesturing toward the back of the store. "Bathrooms are over there. But I'm telling you, man, you're the only one who came in." I walked down the quiet aisle, past shelves of cheap plastic toys and cleaning supplies. The store was dead silent. The air was cold. I reached the back corner. 2 doors, men and women. The women's restroom door was slightly ajar. I called out, "Hello, ma'am, we need to go." Nothing, just the low hum of a fluorescent light overhead. I pushed the door open. The room was empty. 2 stalls, 1 sink, 1 mirror. A single light flickered, casting long, dancing shadows. But that wasn't the strangest part. A soft, rhythmic sound was coming from inside the room. A quiet tapping. It wasn't coming from the stalls or the door. It was coming from inside the tiled wall. Knock, knock, knock. Slow and deliberate. My blood ran cold. I looked at the mirror above the sink. It was fogged up, but not from steam. Through the haze, I could see handprints. No, not handprints. Smudges, greasy outlines of a face and fingers, as if someone had been pressing their cheek against the cold glass, whispering to their own reflection. Then, one of the stall doors, the one at the far end, began to move, but it swung inward, slowly, without a sound. Just a silent black opening. I held my breath, expecting to see someone. But the stall was empty, and that's when everything shifted. The sink faucet sputtered to life. A sudden, violent gush of rusty water pouring into the basin. Primetta jumped, back my heart hammering against my ribs. I stared at the faucet, then at the empty stall, then back at the wall where the knocking had been. It was silent now. The only sound was the water splashing. I took a step closer to the empty stall. On the grimy floor, there were wet footprints. Not from me. They were small, bare feet, and they didn't lead out of the stall. They led from the toilet to a small, locked supply closet door at the back of the stall. The handle was rusted shut. I had to get out. This was a place where things were wrong. I backed out of the bathroom, my eyes scanning the dark, silent aisles of the Dollar Tree. I practically ran to the front of the store, my mind racine. The employee was gone. The front doors were still unlocked. I pushed through them and stepped back into the rainy night, gasping for the cold, clean air. I turned toward my car, fumbling for my keys, and she was standing right behind me, soaking wet. Her eyes were wide, her face a mask of confusion and fear. She wasn't just damp anymore. She looked like she'd been submerged. Water dripped from the ends of her hair, from her clothes, pooling on the asphalt around her feet. She took a step closer, her voice a broken whisper that cut through the sound of the rain. "Why did you leave me alone in there?" I couldn't speak. I just stared at her. How did she get out? The doors were locked. I was just inside. The security footage from the store later confirmed it. It showed me pulling up. It showed me getting out and knocking on the door. It showed me leaving, but it never, not for a single frame, showed her getting out of my car or entering the store. I drove her to her destination without another word. The silence in the car was heavier than a tombstone. When we arrived, she got out and vanished into the darkness between two houses. I didn't wait. I just drove. The next day, I couldn't shake the feeling. I called the Dollar Tree and asked to speak to the manager. I didn't know what I was going to say. I just needed an answer. I told him I was a rideshare driver and that I had a strange experience the night before. I asked him about the women's bathroom. There was a long pause on the other end of the line. When he finally spoke, his voice was low, serious. He told me I couldn't have gone in that bathroom. He said that bathroom was sealed off with drywall 6 years ago, after a woman disappeared in the store back in 2014. They never found her. If this felt too real, say something below. The night remembers more than we think.